Start.
Okay, so we are Group 32 from Vishwakarma Institute of Technology, and our topic of discussion is data archiving solution and techniques. So basically, going over through the definition. So the data archiving solution simply means we need to secure our data, and archiving is the process of collecting older data and moving it to a protected location so that it can be retrieved if needed in data forensic investigation. So why this is important is any organization that aggregates and store a significant amount of data should archive it and impose some frequency and retention requirement. But it is up to each organization to determine whether its data should be archived for how long and whether it should be archived or not, basically. So in this we have two parts. Firstly, we have data discovery. So data archiving helps administration and end users easily find files such as spreadsheet, documents, and presentation. And secondly, we have data management. In this, the data archiving solution helps find and remove redundant data and remove obsolete files from the servers. And lastly, we have data visibility. In this, the data archiving solution analyzes, classify, and index the data before it is stored on the servers. So the advantages of using existing data is firstly, by reusing, it saves cost and time. Secondly, we have comparing results. Third, we have reusing the verified elements, and lastly, it enhances our data quality. So this is a flow chart of how the system works. So firstly, we need to develop a clear picture of what data we need to archive. Then we need to locate the proper resources for it. Then we set up a query and search the data resources. Then we select the proper candidates for data archiving, and then we evaluate our data quality. Next we have is the data archiving considerations. So a major benefit over data archiving is the ability to store a significant is ability to significantly reduce the storage cost. And in this we also come across backup. So data archiving and backup are like two different terms. So people often confuse data archives with backups. So backups are critical for compliances, disaster recovery, and business continuity. And archives, on the other hand, are necessary for compliance. And some organization may use this archive data and backups together. Like backing up helps the archive help us to ensure its integrity. Next, we have the data archiving and data lifecycle management. In this, the management process manages the entire lifecycle of data, like from the beginning of creation and to the deletion of the data items. And the organization creates data lifecycle management policies, which are enforced by the administration and management tools. Second, we have the data archive and compliances. So organization can use data archiving tools to hold general information and hold information required for regulatory compliances for these records. Third, we have identify and sort data before archiving. So in this, we basically categorize the data by type and carefully prioritize which data is required for ongoing operations and which can be moved to archive if needed. Next, we have is the synchronized data archival and data lifecycle management. In this, the data archiving impacts the cycle of the data. And while considering the lifecycle of data archive, which is while when we create an archiving plan. So for example, how long the user wants to keep the archive plan and when we need to delete the archive data. So next we have is the plan for regulatory compliances. Scroll up, keep scrolling up a bit. Aniket, keep scrolling up. Next is plan for regulatory compliances. In this, we have to make sure that the archiving strategy is mostly compliant with relevant compliances regulation. And next we have is the selecting the right archiving tool. So like there are a variety of solutions that can help support our data storage strategy, and some tools are dedicated to data archiving, while others may provide end-to-end data solution with built-in storage capabilities. So
Yes,
next I'll
I
pass over
would
to
like,
Swaranjali.
yeah, thank you. So while we need to consider a few things while creating a successful archive strategy, that is the storage requirement. And storage is useful if you can restore data when needed. While choosing storage type, we need to see how long the data is stored and your storage or the transfer preferences. So that includes deciding whether you want to store your data online or offline. So in the online archive, the online storage of your archives allow you to easily access them from the multiple locations and make sure that you can retrieve your data quickly. And it's like the And private clouds can reduce the security risk, but they have a high upfront and operating cost. And in the offline storage, such as Aniket, can you bit scroll it upwards? Yeah, yeah. So in the offline storage, such as with the disk or tape drives, it reduces the risk of theft or the alteration as well as the maintenance and the storage cost. So typically offline storage has a better capacity to cost ratio, but for like longer recovery times and greater obstacles to managing the transferring data. So benefits of this, majorly there are two benefits of data storage, that are cost saving ability, and so archive data can be stored on less expensive storage devices as long as these devices are reliable and protected against the failure. So freeing up the storage devices faster also helps organization save money, and instead of purchasing additional storage device, organization can store data and free up existing space for new data. And administrators need to know what data is being stored so that this process does not affect user productivity. Files created years long can be restored, and emails that users save in the inbox will not be archived, but messages that users no longer need may be routed to the email archiving system instead of being saved on the mail server.
Okay. So moving on to the topic of different data archiving software. So first one is a Bloomberg SWOT. So it is an surveillance and integrated compliance solution designed mainly for the big financial services firms to meet their business standard and regulations, regularities of publication. So, and the second one is the Mimecast Cloud Archive. So it is archive system that has a huge set in the industry standard for the enterprise information archiving, and it helps them to keep corporate knowledge available, preserving and protecting it all while simplifying the administration and management. Third one is the proof point archive. So compliance and legal pressures are evolving in the face of today's data growth. So for that, Proofpoint develops a new approach of data archiving challenges, which is quite helpful in those uh, domain. Fourth one is the Dell EMC data protection suite for archive. So it is a protection suite for archive enables that organization to efficiently capture, manage, retrieve, index, store, and expose both the structured and unstructured data to meet the enterprise's need. Okay, so all rest are the similar. So moving on to the Amazon S3 Glacier storage classes. So these are the storage classes are purpose built for data archiving, which provides with the highest performance of the most reliable flexibility and the lowest cost of archive storage in the cloud. So all S3 Glacier storage class provide virtually unlimited scalability and are designed for the 99.99% of the data durability. So it delivers option for the fastest access of to archive the data and the lowest cost of archive storage in the cloud. So using Amazon S3 and S3 Glacier Deep Archive provided with the confidence that its digital media would be preserved and easily accessible at an affordable price. However, it still needed to recover the data on the LDO tapes. So working with the AWS, the project teams insert the files into the S3 Glacier Deep Archive. We have six AWS Snowball Edge storage optimized devices. Using the AWS Snowball Edge help to address common challenges with the large-scale data transfer, including high network cost, long transfer times, and the security concerns. So some of the benefits of S3 include low-cost cloud storage, meet compliance requirement, business agility, zero hardware to manage, data protection, and data integrity. And some of the use cases are compliance and archival. So AWS support more security standard and compliance, including PCI DSS, HIPP, PAA, high-tech, FED, RAMP, GDPR, and a lot. And this helps satisfying the compliance requirement for virtually every regulations agency around the globe. Second is the media asset preservation. So customers can store frequently accessed digital media asset in highly durable and massive scalable storage solution at very low cost. So they can easily move data from archival to distribution when needed and extract insight by easily accessing adjacent AWS services. Okay, so Aniket, you can continue.
Okay, thanks, Himanshu. So I will be going through data archiving techniques. So first one is tape storage media. So tape storage media is the most widely used archive media, and this tape format like LTO5 and DLTS4 can hold the significant amount of data, 800 GB of uncompressed data. And there are some disadvantage of this media is that the tape is sequential access storage media, which means the data written to it and read in block sequence only, and it introduces the data seek time delays that may only be an issue with archive data when you need to access or search it. And then second one is a optical media storage. So it offers the one of the earliest form of write once read many data over return protection, and which means that once the media has been written to it, it can only be read, not overwritten. The life of this media is ranging from 30 to 1200 200 years, depending on manufacturers. But the main disadvantage of this media is low capacity, slow read performance, and even slower write performance. And cost are the element that made optical media storage lose ground to other technology option for long term storage. Then third one is the disk storage. So this is a random access device that allows data to be written or read randomly across the surface for the media as mentioned earlier, and it would provide the better single point of failure protection than tape media. There are some disadvantage of this media. The disk storage requires more data center floor space compared to off-site vault space for tape media. Then fourth one is a removable disk storage. It offers the benefit of disk-based archiving with the portability of tape. So this disk storage provides the random read and write capability inherent to uh, disk media. This disk storage relatively expensive data archive storage media in comparison to tape, and a high capacity 750 GB cartridge can cost between $300 and $400 versus an LTO5 tape that cost approximately $100. So that's all about our HA component. Thank you.